What's up, everybody? Bootsy Greenwood here, and I am here to tell you today about why timelines are fake and lame. All right, don't trip just yet. I've been talking about this book here, Reality Transurfing, and it's my favorite. I love it so much. It's such a great book. I've been studying it since 2016. I've learned a lot from it. I owe really a drastic change in my life to its principles. And in the book, the author does talk about timelines or lifelines or life tracks. But I'm here today to tell you about why that doesn't really matter. Why it's not really that important to worry about lifelines or timelines or whatever they're called. Because it's really easy to get caught up in the minutia of this stuff. And while I am exploring the advanced principles of this book, what's really the most important is that you can apply the principles. And that's why I made a summary and interpretation of this book. You can find it on my website, bootsygreenwood.com. I've gotten a lot of great feedback on it. I really appreciate it. Thank you everyone who has checked it out. There's an audio version and an ebook version. I hope that you'll check one or the other of them out. I strongly recommend reading the full Reality Transurfing and Vadim's other books. They're incredible. But if you're looking for a shortcut, if you're looking for a way to just go ahead and get access to all the ideas that are really the most important and critical in the book, as well as the techniques, and you want a little bit of a shortcut, I'm here to help you. That's what I'm here for. I'm happy to help and give you really access to a really, I would say, concise guidebook that can really get you started in learning the principles and the ideas of transurfing. So let's talk about timelines. This is something that people talk about all the time, super woo-woo, and it just sounds so out there that it like immediately makes people roll their eyes and like, what are you talking about? And then people, I would say a lot of people in the spiritual world, they use a lot of vernacular, and really, frankly, there's a lot of vernacular to surf. You know, you got to ride the vocab and in a lot of these models, but it makes them sound smarter, like they can see something that you can't. Really, all timelines are timelines. Pardon my southern accent. All timelines are just possibilities, right? There's only one material world, and this is where people I think get really hung up, and I got hung up myself. So I'm not here to hate, right? Like, I have a sense of humor about this kind of stuff, and the reason why is because I've seen myself fail. I've tried a lot of these principles. I've failed a lot. If you saw my Transurfing is Poop video, you'll know that it's really about piloting, obstacles, opportunity, and pivoting, okay? And so when we go and try this stuff out, we're going to learn lessons. But if you don't try, you never learn. So I strongly encourage you to learn. Again, I'm not trying to hate. It's so funny how people sound so pious and like above you. You know, there's an old saying that those who know don't speak, and those who speak don't know. Believe me, the irony of me saying that as I create a YouTube video is not lost on me. But there are a lot of people who will just go out there and look up trending stuff to make videos about, okay? And that's just what it is. We're in like a race to fill up the internet, I guess, with content. And I took myself quite a long break, and I've really honestly simmered and stewed and meditated on some of these principles to kind of see, what works, what doesn't. Right, and so the idea of timelines, you can make it make sense, right? Like this linear. There's these options, all throughout the infinite alternative space, right? The alternative space is full of everything that ever was, is, or ever will be. So you can take all your timelines and you can put it on either side, but there's only one material reality. Say that with me. I'm not one to make people repeat things, but I think this is a very important point to make. There's only one material reality. And if you don't believe that, well, I would advise you to back up a couple years to the great 2020, okay? And I don't care how good your perspective was. We all got sucked into this reality where, we had to be stuck in our homes and we had to not see people and yada, 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 right? Like, don't make me get passionate here. But I think that is a very good example, okay? Look at any thing like that, we can all see that there's one material reality that we're all sharing in. And what makes that up are our layers of the world, right? There's dozens and dozens and hundreds and thousands and millions of people. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, guys. God is horny, okay? He's making people. People are peopling, and they're making more people, and they just continue on and on and on and on and on. And these circles just represent people's layers of reality, right? They're different perspectives in this grid. Now, all this stuff out here in the alternative space, it's not off limits to us. We just have to bring it into the material reality, okay? But to think like, oh no, I'm on this alternate timeline and I'm stuck in this timeline now, or I'm on this highest timeline. And then all of a sudden, you know, some weird freak accident happens and now you're like, what did I do? How did I get on this terrible timeline? Oh, woe is me. What happened? How did I manifest this tragic, absurd, ridiculous situation for myself? What did I do? Why am I the cause of this? Look, we're always shifting all the time. Like if you were going to look at this, you know, we'd be going up and down on timelines, up and down on timelines all the time, because everything that is a timeline is just part of that infinite alternative space, right? Like it's just all part of the possibility that ever is, was, or could be. And then what is comes into this material reality, this inert, physical, dense 3D reality, right? And so the idea of timelines, like it makes sense as a concept, but don't read too much into it, I think is my point. Even though he's talking about it in this particular book. Look, all timelines exist. There's a timeline of you where you're, you know, a Gregorian prince, you know, or an Egyptian pharaoh or whatever, right? Like all these timelines exist. It's funny when people do past life regressions, they're never like a janitor or like, you know, an AMCO transmission technician. You know what I'm saying? They're always some royal thing. And that's, I think a lot of these spiritual people, they just inflate your ego and then they use big terms sometimes to make you feel, I don't know, a little bit less than because they have the ability to see all the timelines. Look, you have the ability to see all the timelines too. It's just imagination. That's all timelines are. They're just imaginations. So what we want to do is we want to focus on the timeline that we want to live in, right? Whatever our goal is, if it's the highest timeline or the lowest timeline or somewhere in the middle, focus on that. Let the other stuff go. Choose that goal for yourself, right? And say, I'm already on the highest timeline. What is that highest timeline going to give you anyway, other than a feeling within your own being? That's what you want. It ain't $60 bajillion, right? It's not, you know, a harem or whatever. It's the way that those things would make you feel inside. So start there. Start on the inside, working there. What does your highest timeline feel like to you when you're on that highest timeline? When you're on that magic carpet ride, baby, how does it make you feel? How does it feel in your body? Go ahead and generate that emotion in your body right now. That's going to put you on the highest timeline. That's going to bring that highest timeline, boom, into material reality. Your layer's going to light up and you're going to be rocking and rolling, okay? That's it for this one. Thank you so much. Check out the summary. I don't use the word timeline once in the summary. You know why? Because it doesn't matter. Because you know what? There's only one material reality. We all share it. It's freaking awesome. Let's make it great. Okay, that could be misinterpreted. Let's make it amazing, all right? Let's make it greater. Let's make it greater than great. All right, guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.